This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glyn Lavender.
Hi, and welcome to episode 531 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from Shutters Inc. podcast.
Sure?
I was just about to say Understanding Darktable.
You've been busy.
Not busy enough, actually. Version 4 of Darktable just got released this week.
I heard.
I haven't had time to do anything because... for those outside of Australia who may not be aware, central part of New South Wales, 2 weeks ago, the Bureau of Meteorology declared El Nino is over. And then this week declared, expect a month's worth of rain in the next 3 days.
After having how many months of rain the last few weeks?
Yeah, exactly. And so as a consequence, we got a phone call on Sunday, I think it was, from Kath's mum and her partner saying, we're being evicted from the caravan park where they live. Can they come and crash at our joint for an unknown period of time? So we've had these unexpected house guests all week, and they're still here. And so I've just thought it'd be a bit rude to come up here and record, video, which takes me hours and hours and hours. So
No, I think you should do it. It's a good way to get away from them.
So
I'll
get to it next week. So
who wants people?
That's
Nobody
right.
wants people.
That's exactly it.
Well, it'd be awesome if it wasn't for people.
How has your 2 weeks been, Mr. Lavender?
So I'm still on school holidays, so I've got the daily pressure of dad jokes. That's kind of the hardest.
Of course.
The hardest thing, kind of a decent joke. Well, not a decent joke, but a dad joke every day.
Thank goodness for Google.
Well, it gets pretty tough because after doing it for like 70 years, you've got to remember all the ones you've done.
Yeah.
Because people, they'll remind you if you do a joke that's already been done like 3 years ago. They'll bang, so you've got to be kind of Johnny on the ball for that stuff.
If you were me, you'd have a spreadsheet.
Yeah, so I keep it in a far more efficient and much more expensive device.
Right.
The brain.
Right. Whose recall is clearly not as effective as the spreadsheet.
Well, I don't know. So far, I've not doubled up yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Doing pretty good. Yeah,
nice.
I think I've done in 3 years. I think I've done one joke twice.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. So
pretty good
it's not
effort.
too bad.
It's pretty good
not
effort.
Too bad.
Particularly given the number of times that not just school holidays when you've had to pull out the dad jokes, because of COVID.
You had to do like 100 odd days straight of lockdown or whatever, and exactly. It's a fair amount of pressure, but it's all good. Yeah, it's and people send me jokes, but probably often they send me jokes I've already heard, or not heard, or I've already used, and what jokes doing the rounds when 5 people send you the same joke on the same day. And you have to reply, oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good because I can't upset people,
No.
Because I'm such a lovely humanitarian. So school holidays, it's the last official day tomorrow, and then it's the weekend, and then they're back to school, so that's pretty good.
Right.
So, but I've done no photos. I've done some iPhone photos.
Right.
We went fossil hunting yesterday, so I took some photos of the kids fossil hunting.
Nice. Did you find any fossils?
Yeah, we've got about 30 or 40. Cool. Yeah, so 20 million year old echinoderms.
What are they?
For the Miocene era, they're what would you call them? They'd be what's the word? I know the word from, I can't think of them. Urchins, like sea urchins.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So they're kind of like, but they come out they're kind of like a love heart shaped stone with a sandstone now, with this beautiful little pitted top, and then this beautiful sort of star pattern underneath. But they're like a probably half an inch to an inch long and about half an inch wide and half an inch deep.
Okay.
And so they're really cool. We were looking for megalodon teeth, which they do find in this spot, but we didn't find any of those.
Okay.
And found some fossilised coral.
Nice.
Something that may have been a bit of a fossilised whale bone, which they also find there. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
How close to the coast were you?
We're in the bay, in Port Phillip Bay.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
close.
but they find all sorts of things there. So whales are very commonly found whale bones there, and
Yeah, right.
giant penguins and giant kangaroos and
Wow.
all sorts of other stuff. Turtles.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's one of Australia's most prolific fossil grounds, and
Nice.
it's actually in suburbia in Melbourne. So
Wow.
yeah, it's quite amazing. So
Wow.
it's right next to the yacht club. So between the yacht club and some cliffs, and literally it's a 100-foot bit of beach, and that's it.
Yeah,
and,
right.
and we found 30 or so, but we left 100
Wow.
lesser quantities, and there are other people there, and they've all got handfuls as well. So
Wow.
they are very prevalent indeed.
Wow. Very cool.
And so that was. We've had some lovely weather down here in Melbourne, not like you guys have considered. We've had beautiful blue skies,
Right.
sunny every day, no wind, a little bit chilly, but beautiful
Wow.
winter weather we're having. So,
Yeah, right. Nice.
and you guys are
We're copping it.
inundated.
We are
Yeah.
just copping it. It's been almost 12 months of continuous rain. It's just
It's
been
astounding,
ridiculous.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, people pick on Melbourne for rain, but we haven't had that much.
I know.
And you guys are just continuous.
Yep.
And it's flood after flood after flood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that the Northern Rivers area of New South Wales didn't get hammered this week. That like Lismore, which got absolutely
huge last time.
annihilated only 3 months ago. So it's kind of glad that they were spared this time round.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
But
no
El
guarantees
Nino's
not
over, Glenn.
Hey.
It was over 2 weeks
no
ago.
No one told the weather that, though, They forgot to turn it off. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway. So, you've done anything yourself this last 2 weeks? Or I can't believe it's been 2 weeks for starters.
I know. I know. It's crazy. I had to check my calendar for myself because I was thinking, I'm sure we did it last week, and then I looked at the release date of the last podcast and was like, oh no, that was a week and a half ago.
Get your hand off it, Bruce. It's not 2 in 2 weeks. But no.
Yeah. So I did eventually get around to editing up the steampunk
You did.
montage.
And I helped you not in the slightest.
No, I appreciated your feedback. I really did. Even though we kind of went round in circles, I appreciated the input. And
So Bruce stupidly asked for my opinion. On A, steampunk.
well,
B, collage.
hang on. Let's just step into a parallel universe for a second, shall we? So, parallel universe is where Bruce didn't reach out to Glenn for advice.
Oh, yeah.
And goes ahead and produces it the way Bruce thinks is right.
Right.
And then Glenn has a field day going, this is absolute crap. This is wrong. That's wrong. This is wrong. You should have asked me. I would have told you how to do it.
That's not. It's probably fairly true. But of course, we all know that's the alternate universe, Glenn. That's not me.
That's right.
That's the other guy. He's an
course.
asshole. Yeah?
That's that
I'm the
other
lovely
mongrel.
guy. He's the non-people person. I'm the lovely guy. Yeah, this universe person's fabulous. Yeah.
So anyway.
Damn alternate reality people, I tell you.
So I'm mostly happy with it.
So things you reached out, you sent me this thing. So tell me what do you think about it, and I said, well, no, that's no good.
Yep.
You need to. That's no good, and that's no good, and that element's no good. That element's too strong. I would have put that on this side and told you all these changes, which you then promptly went and did badly, I might add. But and so because you did them badly, they didn't look any good. So I said, no, you need to do it like this, and this. I think that'd be. So you went and did them badly, I might add, and because you did them badly, they didn't look any good. So I said, no, I meant this, and this. So you said, okay. So you went back and you did them and badly, I might add, and if you'd done them good, they might have looked good. And then in the end, we went, well, the first version was probably the best of all five versions you've come up with, and even still. there's still problems with the first version I don't like.
Yeah.
But it's like we're texting to each other in the middle of it, late at night.
Yeah.
No, not texting, email. You can't get nuance. You can't explain stuff. Drop that opacity at that level by 5%. It's a visual medium. It's hard and it's personal taste. So it's pretty hard to communicate how I foresaw it to be. Yeah. And your skills, obviously, in A, translating what I'm asking, and B, putting me into action, somewhat lacking. So, of course, the blame, as per usual, comes back on yourself. Because, I'm blameless. And so you end up with the same crappy one you started with. You could have saved yourself a lot of effort, a lot of heartache, and just said, no, I'm dealing with alternate reality, Glenn, rather than the kind, gentle person that I was.
Yeah,
that would have worked. So it's good to understand about it.
That's right.
So should we discuss? Let me pull up that image now, and we can critique it live. Okay. Because I know how much you love that. That's the wrong thing, Glenn. Don't open that up. Every time I go to open up my email, I open up Messenger by mistake. I don't know why. It's the silly little icons they use. And open that photo. Here we go. So, my biggest beefs were girl on the right-hand side, looking out of frame, and because she's large and bright, my eye goes to it. She's far more dominant in size than your main character in the centre.
Okay, so are you looking at the version I sent you this evening?
Yes.
Right,
yes.
So I have darkened her down from what was in the original one. Right, okay.
But also, I think one of the problems is you've got repeated girl 3 times, so centre, bit to the right, but so that's a pathway for the eye to follow.
Yep.
And especially because the last 2 are looking out of frame to the left or down and out.
Yep.
Your eye will naturally follow that viewpoint and you'll leave the image. Which means the stuff on the left-hand side you don't really see much at all because there's nothing there to hold your eye.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because your eye is drawn to humans first. Right. Yeah, people before objects is what eyes always see in photos.
Okay.
And you're forced to follow a direction.
Yeah.
And so that evokes it. That makes the girl on the right-hand side the central character because she's so big in the frame.
Okay.
To me, she's the even though the girl in the middle, the brightest, there's not enough holding you there.
Right.
Even with all those leading lines, you got these beautiful leading lines going on there, but you keep getting drawn, and then because she's looking out, you go, "Oh, I wonder what she's thinking about," and looking at it over there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we tried to flip it and put it on the other side and stuff, it's still. I think she's just too big.
Right.
You know, but and also too close to the other person. Yeah, the other. So I don't know. And then on the left-hand side, that fishnet stocking, is that a belly button I'm looking at, or what is?
No, it's a thigh.
What's wrong? What's that big dimply thing in the middle of the thigh?
That's probably just. It might just be a masking error.
Yeah, when I zoom in, so you can see I'm talking. There's like a big black splodge about top. About 1 o'clock, basically. So to me, that makes me think, okay, that's a belly button, and she's wearing fishnet middle bits, and then the line down the bottom becomes leg, so she's got a leg slightly raised. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's all it's a big expansive fishnet,
right,
with not a lot going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Can you see that? And then the line above the watch where the fishnet ends is such a hard line. Yeah, it's such a drop off between that and the next layer. Right. Maybe they need to transition a little bit more into that space, right, to kind of give that depth. So I'm just not sure what that fishnet brings to the image.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. Look, I can't do composite, so I was never the person to ask. Right. In the first place, I don't get steampunk. I don't understand the watch thing. I don't understand the look.
Right.
I mean, I understand. I don't understand how to make it look good. If you know what I mean. Right. Because I don't understand the story of steampunk, or what is it they're trying to convey, and what is steampunk. You know what I mean? Yep. And if I don't understand that, how can I make the photo say it?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. What could be a really good element in there? Just thinking, like a steam train wheel. No, because you've got all the fog. And
You're kidding, aren't you?
No, is there one in there?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Right-hand side of the image, behind the larger version of Tiegan.
Is that what that is?
That big curve is a wheel of a steam train.
I never would have known that.
Right.
Because it doesn't look like it.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it was the curve you were talking about. Was the curve down by the girl with the hat, where the hat is? Yeah, there's that curve to the right of the hat.
Curve to the right.
Yeah, where she's looking down, the middle of the three. There's a curve and there's like a line. That could be like the line of the little pistony things that go across the wheel.
Yep, that's what it is.
Is it? There you go.
Yep.
You've done a perfect job then. Is that the train line, the next bit down then, is it? The next line, the train line?
No. That is the top and bottom of that thing that connects the wheels together.
Yeah, so I love the leading lines that produces. I couldn't visualise it as being a steam train. That's all.
Right.
But that's my own lack of ability, possibly.
So what I struggled with was if I made each visual element smaller, I then ended up with a lot of negative space where there was nothing going on, and that kind of, I felt, just reduced the visual chaos, and I kind of felt like it wanted a little bit of chaos to it, which was why I crowded everything the way I did. I mean, some people might look at it and say it's not crowded. Everyone's got their own take on it, obviously, but
they've all got their own misguided opinions.
Yeah. So I just felt if I made the elements smaller, it then just felt like these tiny isolated elements in a wasteland of empty space, so... Yeah, so I feel like there's still room for improvement.
Look, that's the same with every single photo ever taken or every collage ever made, I guess. But when you're starting out, if you were to do this on a regular basis, I guarantee in 2 years' time you look back, that's crap. What was I thinking with that, with that? Because that's what you do. You
improve.
You improve. But as a first up go, you've got to say it's pretty darn good. I think you've done a good job.
Thank you.
No, but it's not my taste.
Sure.
I was just waiting for Little Red Riding Hood to pop her head up in one of the photos.
Right.
My daughter started wearing steampunk goggles. It's like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Trying to slap that out of her. But she went roller skating today, and she's wearing them today. Roller skating, just on top of her head, not actually wearing them. Yeah, just sitting on top of her head. Yeah.
Awesome.
But look, but I think And how did you go with the collaging? Did you find that blending of elements easy or hard? Or
okay, so here's the thing: about 12 to 16 months ago, I did mention here on the podcast that Serif, the company that makes Affinity Photo, had extended their discount because of the COVID thing. They wanted to help creators, get up and running with their software. So they basically halved the price of all of their software offerings, during COVID. And I picked up Affinity Photo during that time. Yeah. And the beauty of that is that, it's a once-only fee. You own the software and you can use it forever, But even though I bought it all that time ago, this is probably the first time I've done any serious compositing of multiple layers of anything. So I was effectively trying to learn how to use the software. Not in, I know how to use a mask.
But the actual,
exactly. Just learning the keystrokes and learning where to find the icons for activating certain features and all that kind of stuff. So there was kind of a little bit of finding my feet with the software at the same time as trying to composite together this thing that, I was still trying to piece it together in my head as I was doing it. It wasn't like I had
Well, and you didn't shoot to a plan either.
No.
To a planned image,
No.
So all that stuff makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, so at the time of shooting, I was just trying to get plenty of different angles and, close up and wide and, all that sort of stuff. And in the hopes that it was all going to come together when I tried to composite it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And as you're working on the piece itself, if you haven't got a firm grasp of exactly what you're doing as well, it leads you to trying all sorts of stuff. Some that works, some that doesn't work, and
absolutely.
And your end product.
Yeah.
Is it not something you could do with your darktable?
No. As I keep saying, darktable is more like Lightroom.
Oh, you keep saying that, do you?
Yes.
Have I ever acknowledged the fact that you've said that? Oh, so it doesn't do layers.
That's correct.
Oh, so it's not GIMP.
It's not GIMP. It's not Photoshop. It's like Lightroom.
It's like Lightroom. So hence the darktable. It's not as big as a room.
That's it.
It's much darker.
That's it.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, it was a fun.
Why didn't they call it dark room?
Sorry?
Why didn't they call it dark room?
I don't know.
Because you think about it, I mean, that's the most. Lightroom's a crap photographic term.
Yeah.
Because it was also used to going into the dark room.
Yeah.
Yeah, to develop our photographic joy.
But that was analog and this is digital, so I kind of understand Adobe's reasoning for calling it Lightroom.
Why?
Because in digital photography...
Are we a few 2 years too late for this discussion?
Possibly. Better late than never, Glenn.
Because just quietly, they may have already decided they're keeping it. And anything we say isn't going to make them change their mind.
They may very well.
Yeah.
You think it's past the beta stage?
Darktable's not going to go, you know what, those guys in Shuttersy, they were right. We'll go in dark room. Yeah, because, who uses a table? You know? We may as well be dark kitchen bench.
Yeah.
Or dim pantry.
So anyway.
So we should come up with your own. You should come up with your own program. Because now you know how Darktable works.
Yeah.
You know how Affinity Photo works. Yeah. You should kind of make your own software, blend the two elements together.
Dude, you seriously overestimate my skills. I couldn't write code to save my life.
No, you pay someone. Yeah. You can get that Fiverr. Go to fiverr.com.
Yeah.
And say you've got $5 for anyone who can write the code for dim pantry. Yeah, and see how it goes. And you don't risk, you don't get the rewards.
Well, it's interesting that you should bring this up because there's actually been a bit of a schism in the developer community within Darktable.
Really?
Yeah. So there's one guy, a French guy by the name of...
Just for our American listeners, do you want to explain what the schism is?
A fracturing of the community.
Ooh.
So this French guy, Aurélien Pierre, he's the developer who's done all of the stuff that relates to the color science within the processing modules in Darktable. And, there's a bunch of other developers and they predominantly cover all of the other stuff like the UI and the, all the other bits basically. And Aurélien has done pretty much the majority of the stuff that relates to the processing of colour. And he has, shall we say, butted heads with the rest of the developers over decisions that have been made.
Didn't like the colour mauve?
More about the features that were introduced in Darktable 4 and some of the things that were removed, all of which Aurélien feels do not benefit the end user. And so there's been this, quite heated debate between Aurélien and the rest of the development crew. And so
isn't it open source software?
It is, and because it's open source software, Aurélien has basically pulled down the entire code base and forked it and is now doing his own version of Darktable.
Oh, the dim pantry, get in touch with you.
He's calling
so, dude, have we got an idea for you?
So he's called it R and Darktable.
Ours is better.
Yeah.
No, come on. Arend. What's Arend supposed to mean?
R and darktable, so like R&D, research and development.
Oh, that's crap.
Yeah. So he's basically created his own fork and removed all of what he feels is the crap code that was introduced in Darktable 4 and is introducing new code of his own, but he is also still sharing his new code with the official version of Darktable. So it's like I said.
I think you should kick these people out of your house and get onto this, because this could be your making.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, because everyone's looking. It's all on. All the fraction. You could be doing interviews with and bringing up the dim pantry idea. You could be. You should get him on the podcast. Yeah, I speak French. Yeah. Well,
he speaks English.
No, I speak French, so we should try that. I'm 311 days into Duolingo French, so I can converse for seconds with him now, as long as he doesn't answer.
Right.
Yeah, don't let him answer. But as long as if he lets me just speak, which is I'm better at anyway than listening. You should get him on the podcast. Why not?
Well, he's already done a video on his YouTube channel where he ranted for 50 minutes about...
We're in the top 300 audio, video, whatever the podcast... What are we on? Photography, that's it. Photography podcast on the
planet,
interwebs.
On the planet.
No, I'm not sure we go that far. So what particularly was he objecting to? Do you know? What's the bits that were taken out that he thought were important?
So there was... a module that was the recently used collections module, which got removed and replaced with another module that duplicates a whole bunch of visual elements that appear elsewhere in the user interface. So you're seeing these same visual elements in two separate parts of...
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
And frequently used would be a far more... I would have a frequently used rather than recently used.
Right.
Yeah, frequently used. You might have recently used 3 or 4 things to find what you like best.
Yep.
But 3 of those 4 you don't like. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you're always using, and you're always finding out there's these 4 or 5, let's say, filters that you're always using, that should be your most commonly used things should be there, so that the easiest access.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, doesn't it? You can't even argue against that one because that's good. That wasn't even crap, that one.
So there's a few bits and pieces, and part of this whole reworking of the ability to filter your collections and the scattering of duplicate graphic elements across the one user interface has introduced 6,000 lines of code in place of what was 600 lines of code.
Oh, see, that sounds like Adobe.
And so, yeah, exactly. And Aurelian, he's, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying this, he's a geek, and he's all about efficiency of code and efficiency of your interaction with the software. As he said, this should be about just producing great images.
Are they looking at selling it to Microsoft or something? Need to bloat it up.
Maybe someone from Microsoft has infiltrated the dev team.
What else makes sense? That's really kind of bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, but why it would go that way if that was always been their sort of intent, their drive.
Well, one of the things that Darktable constantly is criticised for is that it's complicated, and as for new users, it is quite daunting when you first look at it. And Aurelian's argument, and I do tend to agree with him, that all of the things that have been done with Darktable 4 tend to make it more complicated than it was before, which doesn't, aid in getting new users on board. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, going forward as to...
But it depends where those new users are coming from.
Well,
are they ex-Lightroom Adobe people
I would
who
say
should be more
a good
au
80... I would say a good 80 to 85% of the new users are Adobe refugees.
Yeah, so most of those you'd think would have a fair if the interface is even remotely...
Oh, it's very, very much like Lightroom.
So that's the argument. The new user argument is for people who just don't want to pay for anything, and I do mean anything at any time.
Yep.
And they all want to do, all they want to do is hit filters and actually they don't want to process images anyway. They want to put effects on photos and put them on the internet.
And Aurelian is very much against that particular mindset. He would prefer it that the people who are coming to Darktable are prepared to put in the effort to learn a little bit about colour science and to understand, why you don't just crank saturation to 11 on every image,
Why?
You'll have to ask him.
Get him on the podcast, I will. But Pierre, what's his name?
Aurelian Pierre.
Let's not get him. I can't say his name. Aurelian.
There's no T on it. Just Aurelian.
That's a D. It was a D. Aurelian.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It doesn't have a D or a T.
That's right.
Cool. Oh, so what do you think's the going to happen going forward with it? Is it going to stay forked? Or can they unfork themselves?
It's hard to know. I hope Aurelian continues to contribute his code to the official stable branch of Darktable, because the work he does is amazing. And honestly, I struggle with it some of the time, and I've actually had to reach out to him on occasions, and he's been very generous with his time. He's written me 400, 500 word emails explaining features, and at one point we actually did a Google Meet video chat for over an hour where he demonstrated some new stuff he'd been working on that I was having trouble wrapping my head around. And so, he's keen for people to understand what he's working on and why it's important. And, my understanding of what he's doing has certainly come a long way in the time that I've been doing the channel. I still feel like there's a hell of a lot I don't understand, but, I think what has enamoured, me with my audience is the fact that I will spend hours trying to wrap my head around it so I can then dumb it down and explain it to people who don't have the time to
just your brain, because you have a certain type of brain that processes certain types of data a certain way.
I think I generally do a good job of explaining this concept and changing the way the information is presented.
You deal with me and our listeners every couple of weeks, so
there we go.
You're used to dumbing stuff down for us,
so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Is there people leaving Darktable to go to R and Dark? I mean, is it a lot of?
I don't know what the numbers are like. I have no idea. This whole schism has really only played out in the last 2 or 3 weeks, so it's fairly recent.
So what you're saying is an opportunity to go in there with dim pantry, and get those disenfranchised on both sides.
That's right.
There you go. We've got it's just basically one button. So you open up the software, import the photo. It's got one button, and it's a filter. And you get what you get. You don't get upset. And hit save.
Isn't that called Snapchat?
But ours is photo based, especially for photos. One button, a filter, and you get the filter that we give you.
It's Instagram. Let's call it InstaChat.
Well, Instagram's changing as well. My wife was showing me she got put onto some new beta of Instagram.
Snapagram. Let's call it Snapagram.
But she got put into this new beta of Instagram. No choice. It just got put onto it, and she can't go back. And there's no square photos anymore. It's all just video feed.
Oh, yuck!
And it's just one finger scrolling of Instagram, and you can't go to find all the photos you used to look at and all that. It's just
really,
she hates it. Hates it.
Wow.
So can't see. I guess they want to be TikTok.
Well, they've not been backward in coming forward about their feeling that Instagram's future is all about video. I mean, they've been pretty vocal about that. So, I think there will be a mass exodus once that's rolled out. I think there are a lot of people on Instagram who do still prefer it as a photography sharing social media site.
Maybe there's a place there for us then. instead of dim pantry.
Maybe there's a future for Flickr.
No.
Or maybe 500px will pick up. Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know. Because you've got to appeal to the non-photographer.
Yeah, see, 500px is very highbrow.
You need Instagram, just not called Instagram, like Dimstagram or something. Yeah, what you used to like. Yeah, just like the old one, it could be called like that. Yeah. Knockoff. Just call it knockoff. Just put it out there. We could be billionaires.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we'll get the guy on Fiverr to write it for $5. I'll give you $2.50 towards it, and actually I'll give you $2, and you put in $3 because I'm not working and you are. So that seems fair. Seems fair enough. And plus, all you get all the takings from your YouTube darktable channel. Yeah, that could fund that easily. That $3, I'm sure. A couple of months worth of YouTube subscriptions, and bang, you'll be right. Wow. So it was funny because I was going to ask you about darktables. I saw it in yours. So it was kind of interesting to find out all that stuff. Yeah, that's good. It's kind of almost an intelligent conversation we had. Almost.
That's right.
Almost. So I can cross that off my list.
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the servers running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
What have you got on your list? Anything
I sent you all the photos from my road trip because I hadn't processed all of those when we recorded 2 weeks ago. A lot of them are selfies.
Did see, where did I do them? I had them up there. Oh, there we are.
Probably in your trash can by now.
Road trip pics, there they are. So we start up with one. Is that your cousin and his wife?
That's my cousin Mark and his new lady, Jan.
Do you know what I'd improve in that photo?
What?
Nothing. That's bloody awesome.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Well, it's not true. I'm trying to make you feel good up to the start. I mean, the lack of detail in his hand really does my head in.
Oh, as in the clipped highlight?
Complete blown out highlights, yeah. I know there's not a lot you can necessarily do about that, but it does do my head in. But as far as their connection, their expressions, their lighting, mind you, if I was paying for this stuff, I would have asked for more detail, less of that
less distortion.
Less distortion in the background. Because those look like some pretty flowers back there, and I want to see those pretty flowers. No, I think it's a lovely shot. I reckon that seems to capture them pretty darn well. I don't know them, but I can imagine they look like lovely people. They look like they've got a good relationship. It looks like they enjoy a bit of life. Yeah,
totally.
Reasonably clean cut people. You know, bathe regularly. That sort of stuff, But country sensibilities, shall we say? And I mean anything outside the eastern states is considered country sensibility. No, it's a beautiful portrait. They should be delighted with that. And I can, other than that, the clipped highlight, which is what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. And the next one's it's a selfie.
It is.
It is a selfie. You against some old shack.
Yeah. Every time I've driven from Perth out to Bruce Rock, I've driven past this little old, remains of a cottage just in some farmer's field. And I've always thought, I really should stop and photograph that one time. And as it happened, this particular day, it was trying so hard to rain. And I just thought, you know what, this could very well be the last time I ever pass this little thing. So I
what reason do you have to go out there again, I guess?
Exactly.
Wow. Right.
So I said to Mark, can we just stop and go back? Because we actually, sort of came over the crest and almost, pretty much went straight past it at 100 k's an hour. And I said, stop. And we went back and, did a few shots. So, yeah.
Oh, good on you, dude. It's a cool looking little shack. I mean, it's not the most exciting of photos, but it's not the most exciting of days, is it?
No.
And the light sucks and everything else. But, I'm just as we speak, I'm just kind of tweaking it a bit myself. just to give it a little something that, yeah.
I can just imagine.
Well, it needs a little something. I think you'd find it. It needs a. Where's that rainbow going to go? So let's put the giraffe there. Where is the giraffe? Why don't I get to choose where the giraffe goes? This is no fun. Where's the? This is crap. This
using Affinity Photo, mate.
I can't put the giraffe where I want. The balloon wouldn't go, and the rainbow. And the space shuttle. I can't even see it in the photo.
That's good.
The aurora. The aurora worked. That's okay. There we go. And where's that? There's Saturn. There we are. No, can't see Saturn either. It's just I'm not going to bother.
Okay.
It was looking good for. I mean, the ridiculous sunset I put behind it looked pretty good, but not having the moon and the spaceship going up towards it.
Yeah,
seems pointless.
Right.
And then you got the one of your dad's plaque.
Yep.
I love the fact that he was called Hank, or nicknamed Hank.
Yeah.
Hank Williams.
Yeah,
cool.
so for a brief moment in time during his high school years, he dabbled with acoustic guitar, and
really?
Hence the nickname. And even after he gave up playing the guitar, he made an effort to ensure that people just continued to call him Hank for the remainder of his life. So
like it.
Yeah, I think I think Nan was the only person who referred to him as Leo.
And then you got the shoe fence.
Yes. Yep. So
that's just good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
You desaturated that, I'm assuming.
Yes. Did I tell you the story about the shoes?
Probably. I might have zoned out.
Right. So those are my gardening shoes. The ones that are in focus are my gardening shoes. Oh. And Kath had been on at me for months and months to get rid of them because they were awful. And I said, okay, I'm going to take them to Western Australia.
I know where they're
going. I'm going to throw them in this tree and you'll never have to see them again. And then on my way to the tree, I went past this location, and this location is actually on Google Maps as the Mile of Boots.
Really?
And as I was driving along and I saw it, I just went, I just got to do it here because here I can get a much more controlled image than if I throw them in a tree. And so I hung them on the fence.
Because throwing and then trying to photograph them as they go up into the air, that's pretty tough.
Exactly.
So tell us about you, because I know before you went, you had the plan of the full moon,
yes,
rising over the what was the name of the Eucla?
Eucla, yep,
Eucla, old station,
the old telegraph station ruins.
Yeah. So what went wrong there?
What do you mean?
With the shot.
Well, we haven't got to it yet.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, you've skipped ahead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hang on.
No. My window didn't go big enough. I didn't see the other two. There's nothing wrong with the unfenced road shot. That's nice and inoffensive.
I shot that deliberately for my darktable audience because a lot of them are not in Australia. So that was sort of something to show my darktable audience.
To use as an image to fix because it sucks.
Not necessarily.
So if I put a space shuttle in that one. Yeah, that would really confuse your darktable audience.
That would.
Because they're not. You know why it would confuse them?
Why?
Because the space shuttle's not flying anymore, Bruce.
Right. Of course.
Pretty simple. Then you're eating a chip?
Yeah, now there's a story here.
Good.
Mark, my cousin, his sister Helen, who is also my cousin, her husband Jürgen.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's right. Her husband Jürgen said to me, "Can you do me a favour on your road trip?" And I said, "Sure, what's that?" And he said, "When you get to Tiegan," he said, "can you go and get a bucket of chips and take a photo of yourself with the chips in front of the biofuel charging station?" He said, "The car club that I'm a member of was instrumental in getting this thing installed. And Tiegan's in the middle of frickin' nowhere." Yeah. And what they do is they take the oil from the chip fryer
from the chips. Yeah.
And they pour that into the generator and they run the generator on that oil to generate electricity to charge up the electric vehicles.
Well, that's a cool idea, isn't it?
So it means that they're getting second use out of the oil. and not having to just cart away, gallons and gallons of used oil.
Or just pour it out the back in the desert.
That's it. That's it. So I did.
Which has
that
been the age-old method.
That's right. That's it.
What's this carting away business you're talking of? We just leave it in barrels out the back. Yeah. We're hoping they'll be like wine and they'll improve with age. We've got a lovely 1945 chippy oil going there.
Chippy Shiraz.
We're going to crack that one next year. We reckon she's just about right.
Yeah, and so then we get on to...
Imagine the aftertaste of that one. It's got a lovely taste of, I don't know, dim sims. God. So that's just an anecdotal photo. It's it's not photography. So tell us about your full moon.
Yeah, so I'm really glad I got to Eucla a little earlier than I had anticipated. I got there about 4:10, and according to the app that I had checked, it said the moon was going to rise at 4:50. And about 4:20, I thought, it's a couple of kilometres down to the ruins, and it's just a dirt road. So I thought, I might just head down there now, and that way I know I'm there in advance, and I'm not rushing, and I've got time to find my spot and my angles and blah blah blah. I got down there at about 4:30, and the moon was already starting to appear.
Oy.
So I'm kind of glad I went as early as I did. And as I said on my video where I shared some of these photos to my darktable audience, I said, every man and his dog on Facebook would have taken the moon and made it, 100 times larger, and would have made it look as fake as all get out. But
every man, any good photographer would have taken a big lens and done it in the camera.
Yeah, well, I took the biggest lens that I had.
There's the problem. So the shot just doesn't work because the moon's a nothing element in the shot.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course,
it's the brightest.
The angle of the building doesn't look like anything either. Yeah, but it's a nothing. It's just this blob. Yeah, it's just the problem is you need a 600mm or a 1000mm lens.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're doing those, if that's your intent to shoot that stuff and not make it look fake, you need those whopper great big lenses and
that's right.
And the reach, you need to be able to get far enough back from your object.
Yeah.
And let's face it, when you do that, what part of the building is going to be interesting anyway?
Yeah.
It's a tough shot. It was never going to be an easy shot.
No.
And all you've got is you can't even really tell what the object is. It's a wall.
Yep.
Maybe, but you'd never know necessarily exactly what it is. Or this, you've got a shot a couple further down. Where is it? Of just the homestead with the trees in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where the moon would have been.
Yeah, but that's
more the building.
That's 120 degrees around from where the moon was.
That's not my problem. That'd be what they call a you problem. Yeah, I'm just saying what makes the photo look good. Yeah, make it more interesting. Yeah. It's a tough place to shoot, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's not. It's trying to get a good angle that
and
does
the
it
thing
justice
is, if you're looking at that shot that you just said looks nice with the trees behind the ruins, you see that sand dune right off on the right-hand side in the distance. Yeah, that's where I was shooting that first image from because the moon was over the top of the ruins from that angle. And so it was because of that sand dune I couldn't get any further back.
Yeah.
So that first image I think was shot at about 80 or 90 mil on my 70-200 because... Yeah,
no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is, isn't it? Best laid plans, you have these dreams. Oh, it's coinciding with a full moon. This is going to be epic. Yeah. Oh, reality. Which is always the way, isn't it?
Look, at the end of the day, I got the images as best as I could get them under the circumstances. Yeah. And I'm happy with that. Yes, you're right. Like with a 1000mm lens, it would have looked much more epic. But I'm still happy.
It was still, to be honest, it wouldn't have. Because the moon would have looked good, but the building still would have sucked.
Yeah.
Because the building's not interesting. It's a bit of wall. It's not in of itself interesting.
Yeah.
No, photographically, it's just there's no angle to it. It's just another line in the photograph. It's not even a leading line. But you can't control it. Where's the moon rising? You know, it rises where it rises. Yeah. Whereas 401, a couple images along, you've got a wall that goes away from you. Yeah. That makes the wall more interesting, of course, because you've got the angles, and it goes to that beautiful texture where all the people have engraved names and stuff in it, so it leads you to that. And then so you've got interesting stuff going on there, but the moon wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly.
The moon was where it was. You get what you get, you get quite upset. Or was that just me?
What did interest me about the location was that when I shot it 10 years ago, a section of the building existed which now does not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that... I'm just trying to see, where's the best... Probably that first one, 394, you can see the part of the wall that's on the left of the frame is actually... It's coming closer to the viewer as you come into the frame. And the wall on the right-hand side is doing the opposite. And 10 years ago, those two walls came all the way out to a corner.
Man.
Those two whole walls have collapsed and disappeared.
That's time, isn't it, though? You know?
Exactly. Which is why I love shooting, this location. I've now shot it twice. I'll probably never shoot it again. But, I find that interesting, that it's changed in those 10 years.
Anyway. Just adding a little improvement to your image there. Just give me...
Which one?
Just your moonshot,
Right.
Just...
Are you putting a cow flying over the top of it?
Don't be so crass. Why would anyone be so crass as that, Let me just save to this. I'll save that. I won't save it at full res because there's a chance you may not use it. And I'll just send it to you here on Skype, dude. Here we go. Let me just... where do we send stuff on Skype? There we go. You can include this one in. If you feel it's improved your image in any way, you can kind of include that... in the podcast. Let's see, desktop, there you go. Here it comes. Now, I've been very creative, I must admit, and had to deal with some issues in the shot that my take on it struggled a little bit with. Has it not arrived at your end yet?
I don't think so.
It's in the Skype window.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking in the Skype window. I can see a little... one notification icon where it says chats, but when I click on chats, it's not showing me the chat.
It's very strange, isn't it?
Click on... Right, now I've got it.
You got it? So you see what I've had to do. So I've enhanced your image a little bit by putting, Jupiter and one of its moons... up there for, but I had to deal with the fact that your moon wasn't lit the same way, so I put it on the great spot on Jupiter. I've used your moon, and it blends in quite seamlessly. I think it really adds. I'd probably still keep, that was a very quick tweak. I'd probably add some more elements to the sky to make it a bit more interesting. But I think we're on to a bit of a winner. We could call it Tatooine. So you can keep that, Bruce. It's just for you.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
That's right. It's okay. So what else you got in your photos here?
Me standing by the cliffs.
You on the Great Australian Bight.
Me at the Nullarbor Plain sign.
But we don't want to Nullarbor people to death with that one.
Me in another ruined cottage in South Australia this time.
I've got the exact same window.
Yeah.
The exact same framing. With the sky and the grass.
Yeah.
For exactly identical from Donkey's somewhere. From Donkey's.
Oh, really?
I had a better day. It was middle of a bright sunny day, but exactly the same.
Wow.
I'm sure it's the same window. It looks the framing, right. The whole lot looks exactly the same.
So I just wandering through this sandstone cottage, remains, and just happened to step into this room and saw the window there and just went, "Oh, that is just a perfect frame for a selfie." Yeah.
So I'm sure the farmers' fields all around. I'm sure I've been to exactly the same place.
Yeah. And then another room in the same cottage looking out onto the field. through a bigger window.
Yeah.
And then the next one is the actual cottage, and it's like a whole house there,
Yeah.
and the whole roof is missing. And actually, up in the chimney that you can see up on the top, there was wild bees. So the whole thing was just humming with bees. So I was very careful as I was moving around.
Bruce, bees buzz, they don't hum. Just need to let you know this, if you're gonna
Depends what kind of tone pedal they're using, mate.
Well, I guess. Then there's a classic photo of you with your dad's car on...
Yes.
Not on the plane.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Not the plane.
No, not that sort of plane. And then the one after that is...
You know what? I'm going to tell you, this. You might not see this, but to me, looking at this building, I reckon it looks a bit like one of those old-fashioned radios.
Do you really?
Yeah, it looks kind of that way.
Yeah.
Bits. Well, yeah.
What gave it away?
I think it's the on, the off, the tone, the tuning, the volume, and the frequency dial.
Yeah. So this is the studios of 2BH Broken Hill.
What a great building!
Isn't it awesome? It's absolutely epic.
When did they build this?
I don't know. This was like 6 o'clock in the morning, so there was no one around to ask.
No.
But I just happened to chance upon it and went, "Oh, that's too good not to take a photo."
The problem is, no one these days would recognise what it is. People would drive past that. Young people going, "What's that supposed to be?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate that the ground level floodlight on the left-hand side is not working. The one on the right side's working, but not the one on the left. But that's kind of like all old radios, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The only one valve's still working.
Exactly. So maybe that was intentional. I love that. So
then you got a whole bunch of
another fence somewhere in the middle of New South Wales where people had just hung hubcaps, and I thought, oh, okay, fine.
I saw a photo the other day of, I think it was at the bottom of a waterfall somewhere, and people had put little stone cans everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hundreds of them, right?
Right.
And then someone had put up a sign saying, "Just because you can doesn't mean you should." It kind of affected the natural beauty of the place somewhat.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I thought it was quite clever.
Nice. And then on the last day, on the Saturday, on the drive from Dubbo through to home, I got out near a little town called Dunedoo, and it was really foggy. And I just pulled up beside this field and just took a few shots in the fog, which I really love. I just love the atmosphere of photos in fog.
Photos in fog are always cool.
Yeah.
You know that cobweb shot you got there? Yeah. Nothing about the shot, but driving up to near the New South Wales border from Victoria recently, up the main freeway, in the middle of the road, the nature strip between the two directions, trees for like about 50 kilometres were all covered in bloody cobwebs that it would have sucked me in and I wouldn't be able to escape from.
Yeah, right.
Hundreds and hundreds of like 8-foot, 10-foot cobwebs.
Yeah.
I hate to see the frickin' spiders. It's huge. But just thousands of these massive cobwebs. It was just creepy looking sight.
You've had a heap of rain, right?
Not at that stage, no.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It was just this, but I mean, these cobwebs are seriously 8-10 foot in size.
Yeah, right.
And thousands of them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one hell of a sight. Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Well, good on you for getting the photos. Actually, get out and doing photos, dude.
Yeah, look,
Well, power to you.
As I said, I was going to have 6 days on the road and no one in the car with me, so it was easy to just pull over whenever I felt the urge. Sure. So it was good.
A great road trip.
I loved it.
Jealous as, dude. Well, I say we say bugger everybody else's stuff this week. And we can talk about that next week.
Sure.
I think this has been a lovely episode.
Yeah, we've chatted for an hour already.
Yeah, I think we've done. It's a quality episode. They come few and far between these days, so we should. We should learn when to stop.
This is the one for 2022.
Well, for the 2020s.
Oh, right, okay.
The whole decade, dude. Let's not overpromise.
Sure.
Let's underpromise and underdeliver.
Right. Excellent concept.
Then let's not set ourselves up for failure. All right,
mate. Well, you have a good couple of weeks.
I will indeed, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome, mate. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.